Guruji. Very good morning. Morning ಏನಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, it looks like morning, the weather. So, how are you all? Not so good. After the prelims result. ಮುಖ ಮುಚ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ. Right. So, every year this is a tradition. After prelims, I take these sessions for those who don't make it to the mains, and we give certain guidelines, what you call guidance or guidelines, right, regarding what to do next, how to prepare better for the 25 attempt, right. So you must be already familiar like what I am going to talk, right. But every year our understanding of the examination keeps improving, right, our own understanding of the examination, because we come across so many successful candidates, so many failed candidates. We also experience our own failures, our own successes. You know, like all of you are in a new territory. When it comes to civil service examination, all of you, by choice, all of you have come to this examination that you want to become IAS, IPS, IFS. So there are multiple reasons for why you want to be IAS. Now, when you were in the university, when you were in your engineering days, BA, BCom, BSc, or masters, wherever when you were studying in the university, what was happening when you were missing the test? What happened when you didn't attend classes in a regular way? Attendance was compulsory, right? In your college days, to some extent it was compulsory attendance. And what was happening when you used to skip test? If at all you were skipping any test, were you skipping any test in your college days? Huh? Now and then, right? So what would happen if you skip more than, let us say, 2-3 tests or internals? What? Fine. So the college would impose certain fine. To escape from the fine, what would you do? So you would write the examination, right? Whether you like it or not, you would go and give the examination. And at the end of the course, they were going to award you degree. They were going to give you a certificate. That also is the major reason why you were regular with your classes and regular with your tests. So now once you graduate and come into this open field of UPSC preparation, we cannot impose any fine, right? When you don't attend any class or when you don't attend any test, can I impose fine on you? You are a absolutely free individual, right? So you have free will. Based on that free will, so you are going to act according to your own thinking, your own choices, right? You are making smallest decisions on a daily basis, right? Whether to attend this class or not, right? Whether to write test or not, whether to do CSAT today or not, whether to give or whether to join some course or not. So all the decisions you are voluntarily making. This doesn't come under any framework. Nobody is giving you like in a written format. These are the guidelines that you have to follow them, because you have to take most of the decisions on your own, and also because you have absolute freedom not to do certain things. You keep failing in this examination on a regular basis. I am just unlocking the most important secret for this examination for you. So when I come across 100 students, 95% or even more than 95% of the students lack that self-discipline. Even when you don't have to pay the fine, even when you don't have to give the examination to get any certificate, if you can just pull yourself, right, gather some courage, come and give the test regularly, right, attend class regularly or follow your own timetable regularly. Need not be under a coaching setup. Even if you are doing a self-study, if you can bring that self-discipline, right? And certain restraint or control or self-control over your certain urges, right? Now let me take a break today. Let me go for a trip, or let me do something else rather than this like deviations and distractions. The one who has that kind of self-discipline and brings consistency in this examination is the one who is going to crack this examination in minimum possible attempts. Here brilliance, your so much of intellectual capacity doesn't matter much. I've seen people from not so good colleges, from rural areas, with not so good guidance, but with strong willingness, personality, right? That inner urge. I have chosen this path, no matter. For them, it might take little more time, but they eventually crack this examination, right? So be honest to yourself, like how much consistent you are in this journey, right? I see like 3 to 4% people approaching us, maybe for essay evaluation, for answer evaluation, or for clarification of any doubts. That is also another thing. In your university days, in your college days, I keep asking this question when some people come for admission, right? They have this fear. So inside classroom is so much crowded. If I get admission here, I don't get individual focus, right? So yesterday, one boy was telling this. I asked him a question: how many students were there in your class when you were doing engineering? He said 60. So out of 60 students, how many of them were regularly meeting their teachers? In your own respective colleges, from wherever you have come, right? Just go back, flashback. How many of you were, or how many of your friends were regularly meeting their teachers, for guidance, of clarification of doubts? How many? Huh? Very less means how many? 2 to 3 or 0? 4 to 5 in the entire class? How many? 2 to 3, right? So when you come to coaching here at Insights IAS, we want everyone to do this, right? But your mind and your personality is so conditioned, right? Throughout conditioning, conditioning means training. Throughout your school, college days, that you haven't had the habit of going to people and seek help from them, right? Because you had prescribed syllabus, model tests, or friends to help you with, everything was predictable. You knew that what you were going, at least 60-70% was predictable, right? Even in your test. So you didn't need the help of your teachers, or you didn't need the help of a mentor. You are not accustomed to that. You are not habituated to that kind of seeking help. So that is also totally new for you, right? So people continue the same habit even after the graduation. When they come for the coaching, not seeking help, right? Not being consistent, lacking self-discipline. I'm in this field for the 11th year, right? And 3 of my students from the first batch, they last 2 months they have become the DC or DM, what do you call, district collectors, right? 4 got into IAS in my first batch, 2014. 1 got into IRS, income tax. Among 4, 3 have become district collectors. So after completion of 8 years of service, now they are. From them to hundreds of students, for interview guidance, mains guidance. So I am long enough to understand the psychology, personality of the students, that this examination not so much about remembering facts, right? Knowledge component. It's mostly about one's personality, the discipline. If you are rock solid in that sense, and also trusting your mentors and trusting your teachers. You have to have a mentor. You have to choose someone to guide you, right? I know you are a big individual, with a double degree or big graduation, but you have to take guidance. Guidance brings accountability. Guidance brings consistency, right? That also most of the people don't do for the reason I told you, right? So what happens is that you keep experimenting, you keep getting distracted. So next half an hour I am going to tell you what to do for 2025. I felt before telling that I should tell what is lacking in you, right? So you have to follow these things, right? Somewhere when we, take out time from our life, come here and tell you something that is not for my benefit, right? My life is so good. I don't have to do this. I can just stay out and travel across the world and experiment with politics or something, right? I don't have to come and talk here, really. So if at all I am coming and doing, or if at all Sudeep sir is doing something, if at all some other teacher is coming and doing something, this is purely to help you achieve success, which I know your success will bring success to our institution eventually. There is also self-interest. I'm not denying that, but we put that as a secondary goal. The primary interest. So I want to tell proudly, after 10 years, 100 of my students are district collectors or something. So that much boasting is what I want to have. I'm not going to get benefits from you also. Nothing. Life has, we have everything, right? So the thing is, you have to be mindful, you have to be aware of these realities every day of your this 2 to 3 years of UPSC existence, right? It's difficult, very difficult. You're not trained for it, but if somehow if you can just, like Sunday there is a full length mock test, prelims or mains, whether you're prepared or not prepared, try to prepare really well for the examination. Even if you're not prepared, you should come and write the exam, right? That much strength, inner strength you should have. Then only the success will actually chase you. You don't have to chase the success, right? So you might have read that famous quote on Instagram or Telegram also we had posted. So don't be a butterfly that chases flowers or something. Be a garden that attracts butterflies. Be a garden that. So be a garden means improving your own abilities, skills, knowledge level. Then people will come to you. Then the success will come to you. So regarding what to do for 2025 attempt, so some of you might have failed in CSAT, some of you might have failed in paper 1, some of you might have failed in just completing the basics or whatever it is, right? And some of you might have skipped the attempt and must be focusing only on next attempt. Since 2016, the examination drastically changed. So 2013 to 16, it was kind of predictable, the examination. 17, 18, 19, they started changing gradually. 19 onwards, the examination became a bit more difficult than it used to be. 19 onwards, in all the 3 stages, prelims, mains and interview, right? So we started seeing that students, especially who had all these qualities, in addition to having certain hobbies or interest of, like reading newspaper out of passion, right? Who had that prior habit before coming to coaching. People who have this critical thinking ability, analytical thinking ability, by virtue of reading different books and writing habit, they started scoring really well in interview, started doing really well in essay papers and ethics paper. Earlier it was not like that, fix to syllabus, stick to syllabus, complete the syllabus, one could see your marks really well even in the interview, even in all the papers. So now the expectation, the demand of the examination has shifted towards testing the individual, like individuality, originality within you, your ability to think diversely. All these things are important. So what I am going to say is that prepare in an integrated way, keeping interview also in your mind, right? Don't excessively focus only on prelims because you have failed in prelims multiple times, right? That mistake people do, like because somebody has failed in prelims, what they do is that they excessively focus on prelims. And when they clear prelims, I'm meeting them, so many of them. So after yesterday, actually, I met 2 people. Now they're scared about the mains. because they haven't done any answer writing, they haven't given any full length test, so they are worried about. In fact, they are thinking of like skipping, just writing mains for the sake of writing. Can you imagine that? You struggle to clear prelims. They would have thought the same, like, let me clear prelims first and then focus on the mains. Now suddenly the mains, you see 1750 marks, right? 9 different papers, and it looked like a big block of obstacle, like, how to tackle it. So to overcome that kind of fear after prelims, integrated preparation. Similarly, after mains, people start finding out or discovering their hobbies, or inventing, not discovering, inventing hobbies, interest, like what to put in the detailed application form. They had to do it after prelims, like 2-3 years ago. Now the DAF 2 comes after mains result. You know that there are 2 detailed application forms. Earlier there used to be 1, right? They would get at least 2 months advance, right, to understand which hobby and interest to pursue. Now it is not like that. After clearing mains, you have to put your hobbies and interest. So most of you sitting here, you will never think about them. When you're preparing for UPSC, do you think about your hobbies and interest? Like, do you think about the interview process? Maybe you may be dreaming, daydreaming, like, praying for that day, like, be part of, this Drishti IAS video, mock interview, and, become popular on the internet, right? So we don't think about the interview. So when it happens, let us take care of it. So please don't have that kind of attitude when it comes to this examination. Integrated, prelims, mains, interview, integrated. So it is easy to integrate prelims come mains, right? Easy to integrate. See, integration means whatever you are studying, keep solving questions related to that, both from prelims and mains perspective, right? I am not saying other way around, prepare for prelims and mains. Whatever you are preparing, there are questions related to that, except topics like ethics you can leave out, right? In paper 1 you can leave out world history. Rest everything is related to prelims. Is there any topic that doesn't come under prelims apart from world history? In paper 3 or paper 2? They can ask question on security issues. They can ask questions on SNT, we know that, right? They can ask question on economy. They can ask question on social justice part in paper 2. IR, they can ask questions. Society, the social issues, the topic is there in prelim syllabus, right? Any question on women, children, aged people, population, they all come under society, right? So prepare in such a way that it is integrated. So what do I mean by integrated? So I simply said reading and solving the questions, but that doesn't prepare you for the examination, right? So by December or by January or February, prepare notes for every individual mains topics. For all GS 4, GS 1, 2, 3, 4, how, and you have to figure it out. There are ready-made value-added materials available from the institutions which are available for everyone in the competition, right? So they won't distinguish. Your notes and her notes is similar. If you rely only on that notes, your answers are going to be similar. What you can do is that for every topic you can use such readily available material as the base material, right? Those materials will have basic facts and basic concepts, right, for individual topics. On those materials you have to update applying your individual intelligence or common sense, right? So this exercise must be done after prelims. You must have your own materials for all the 4 GS papers. So that will actually take care of your prelims syllabus also. Most of it will be covered as part of the mains topics. So divide making notes according to like subject wise or topic wise. So you can follow any test series timetable. So I am not going to say that you join only IPM or only core batch or any other test series. You choose based on your interest. And IPM, as you know that, because IPM is our program, IPM, it has around 57 mains tests with 16 ethics and essay full length tests plus 16 CSAT tests and also around 35 or 40, no 51 prelims mock tests, right. More than 100 prelims cum mains tests packaged as integrated prelims cum mains. You can just have a look at the timetable. Only mains test series, we have year-long mains test series, that also you can look at the timetable. Later you can do. But to prepare notes, either you have your own timetable. If it is not possible for you to have your own timetable, you can go for the IPM timetable. You don't have to necessarily join, you can just take the timetable. According to the timetable, you can also go on making the notes. But joining IPM timetable, what happens, or any test series timetable, so you will not only prepare and prepare notes, you will be tested about it, right. When you give a test, when it comes evaluated, you will know where you stand. So to get really better in prelims examination in terms of elimination techniques, in terms of adaptability, right, you have to adapt. So we were expecting, everyone was expecting this year prelims is going to be more difficult. So suddenly the examination was slightly easier. Everyone has felt it, right, easier. Now what it did was, it was like akin to slow ball in the cricket suddenly, right. So you cannot judge it. So what happened, because of last 2 years question papers, and because most of the tests and most of the questions would have, including ours or any other institution, any question paper that you have solved would have trained for the difficult paper. Suddenly when you are faced with these easy questions, it becomes difficult to believe them, right. It becomes difficult to believe in your own judgment. So you start over analyzing, overthinking, right. It's a messing up your mind, trick with psychology, right. So you are seeing those questions, you know the answer. For many of you, it would have happened that you would have marked right in the first instance, then over analyzed, over thought about it, and then mark another option, and then coming out silly mistakes. You label it as silly mistakes, or the mistakes you could have easily avoided. So this happens because of the lack of ability to adapt to the situations, right. Whether it is very difficult situation unexpectedly, or whether it is easy situation unexpected way, you have to adapt, you have to believe, trust in your own knowledge, in your own instinct, right. So to develop that ability, you have to start practicing bit early, right. So give prelims marks from July itself, right. Never postpone giving prelims marks to January or February or March. This habit is very dangerous. We keep telling this, even then people do this mistake. Till December, I will focus only on optional and mains. From December, I will start focusing on the preliminary examination. This is number one biggest mistake all the aspirants commit, as far as I know, right. There is nothing wrong. So I am not asking you to join any test series. Question papers are available, right. Download them, take them, come here to the class, sit for 2 hours, solve it, and then go back and analyze all the questions, right. This is number one. Secondly, now itself, analyze, understand, as well as remember each and every concept or keyword or fact related to last 29 years of prelims question papers. Now, if you do it now, you can have 3 more revisions of the same going forward, right. Now means you take 3 months of time, it's okay, right. 29 years means how many questions? 2,900 questions. Let us say 3,000 questions. So every day let's say like 20 questions or 30 questions, how many days it takes? 100 days. 30 days, 30 questions every day means 100 days, right? Around 3 months. Is it difficult to take 30 previous year questions every day, analyze them, read about them, is it difficult? You can integrate it with the timetable you are following. So if you are doing art and culture, like GS1 art and culture, right? So art and culture, you won't get even those many questions, right? You will have total overall maybe 100 questions from last 29 years, right? Only from the art and culture. So then you can divide them into 10 questions or 15 questions like that, right? This must be done now itself. So what you people do is that you don't have the habit of solving MCQs on a daily basis. Random 5 questions which come in Telegram or Twitter or here and there, but not in a disciplined way, taking printout or something, sitting with them, analyzing. So what do I mean by analyze, understand and remember means, because every question will have, in addition to the concept that they are testing, the remaining options will have some other new fact or new concept, right, unrelated to the question, just to confuse you or just for the sake of giving more options, they would have given it in the question. So learn them also, because that concept can be another question another year. So any keyword, any new word, any new fact that you come across, especially static topics of all 3 GS papers that you come across in past 29 years, those are the concepts, those are the topics, the most important topics from the examination viewpoint. You have to be really perfect with each and every keyword. Make short notes, remember them, right? Keep applying that knowledge. Like when you write essay, when you write certain introductions, right? Sometimes in ethics answer also you can, ethics for example, if you have studied Indian philosophy, how many schools of philosophy? 6 schools of philosophy. I rarely see anyone writing that in any ethics answer, right? You can use those 6 schools of philosophy in 1 or 2 ethics answers. Can you use it or not? I don't see anyone writing them, right? You can use that knowledge, what you studied for prelims. So when you start using them, start applying that knowledge, right, in an interdisciplinary way, across the syllabus, across the topics. So then your critical thinking ability, analytical thinking ability, and your memory of that topic progressively will improve, right? So this thing you have to do it. So 29 years of prelims GS1 papers, deeper analysis, and I felt this year question paper, if somebody was perfect with NCERT textbooks, perfect with 29 years prelims papers, would easily solve more than 50 questions. Am I right or wrong? Honestly tell me, what do you think? 29 years question papers, perfect, being perfect as I said, plus NCERT textbooks. This is enough. So you wanted 45 questions to be right, 45 questions, right? Is it difficult to do this? It's not difficult. If you start early, you will master it, right? So the second part is the NCERT textbooks. What most of the UPSC aspirants do, when they start preparation, they would have read NCERT textbooks for the first time at that time. After that, they will never touch those textbooks. Second attempt, third attempt, no, they won't touch NCERT textbooks because they have moved to advanced knowledge, right? It is not that you have moved to advanced knowledge. So I keep observing the nuances of this examination. What actually people do is that it is not like moving towards advanced. It is, there is no end to learning a concept here. You keep learning new things every day, every year. You feel like it is old, right? The repetition, repetition of the same concept, it is rarely done, unless only in the case of very important concept you will do that. Otherwise, you keep learning new thing. You read this source, you keep it aside, you want another source related to same topic or same subject, you finish it, you go for another one. Repetition is the key, right? revising the same source multiple times is the key actually. Within all the resources that are available for UPSC, believe me, NCERT textbooks are the most beautiful, most abundant in terms of concepts and facts, examples required to crack this examination. If you take those textbooks and start reading now, like maybe you would have read it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you will find new things actually, right? You will find new concepts and you start wondering, right? There is so much within these NCERT textbooks I was ignorant about. You will actually feel it. I do it. Like now and then when I suddenly take up random NCERT textbook, right, to tell someone something, there are children preparing in our household now, for this examination. So I actually feel good about the textbook. There is so much knowledge hidden within that. Why don't you perfect that knowledge first, right? Be perfect with that. So start with 6th class NCERT till 12th, all the humanities textbooks, 6th, 7th, 8th, mathematics textbooks also if you are weak in the CSAT part, basic numeracy. So that is they are the founding blocks, the foundation for CSAT class, I think 5th, 6th, 7th textbooks. They are the foundation for your basic numeracy. That also we ignore. For some reason we have resistance within us, to do all these things. So treat yourself as a fresher for the next attempt, right? Forget the baggage, whatever failures you have been through, whatever preparation you have done, everything is part of your personality, your consciousness, your knowledge. It will be there with you, right? But don't depend on it, right? Don't try to carry it forward, in the sense that don't just rely on it. You have to build again from the scratch, so that whatever you already know, the gaps are filled and it in a way becomes even more perfect. When it becomes more perfect, when it gets strengthened, the issue I was talking about, adaptability in the examination, you will be trusting your instincts more in the examination, right? You won't doubt your knowledge, you won't doubt your judgment. When it is haphazard, when it is all scattered, when it is diffused and when it is not perfect, in the examination you keep doubting, right? So that is what happens when you have multiple sources, when you are not sticking to few sources. So keep repeating. So my suggestion, previous year question papers, you may be giving your 3rd attempt, 4th attempt or 5th attempt next year. You might have written mains also last year. Still I recommend reading NCERT textbooks once again, right? You can directly skip to 8th or 10th, 11th, 12th textbook, whatever you do. But my suggestion still 6th to 12th, there is nothing wrong. You can just finish them in 40, 50 days. Every day like 2 to 3 hours, you have already read about them. You already know so much about geography, polity. It is just that you are filling the gaps. You are going back to the basics, right? You are getting better in your concepts. So what happens when you are perfect with these concepts, you won't struggle to include those concepts in your answers also, in your introductions, in your essay arguments, right? You won't recall. I mean, you won't have to struggle to recall them. They will come naturally when you are writing about them, right? So this is the second exercise. First, 29-year papers, NCERT textbook. Please do, for God's sake, please do this thing, right? I'm not promoting NCERT, like more selling of NCERT textbooks. We don't have to do that. People anyway buy them, right? Do this. The third, with respect to CSAT, right? I'm an advocate, whether you are brilliant or not brilliant, right? There are 2 dimensions in CSAT, that is comprehension, and another one is the maths part. What do you call the reasoning and quantitative aptitude. So some are weak in the quant part, some are weak in the comprehension part. So those who have developed reading habits from school or college days, they find comprehension easy. Those who are used to reading dense material, standard literature, or the Hindu like editorials from the very beginning, so they are good with the comprehension, they are confident. And quant part, of course, those who are engineers or graduated from better colleges and given multiple tests and practiced, they will be good. But people from humanities and other streams, they find it difficult. So for that I said NCERT textbooks, basic mathematics, plus the most important component, the missing practice component. You take up CSAT as an afterthought, right? That is not part of your daily routine from the very beginning. So that becomes part of your routine only after you complete the mains preparation. So you are building, your structure from the top here, right? So mains first. There is no foundation. What you want to do is that you want to construct the top structure and then you want to start building the base later, right? So then you struggle, like, your building is collapsing, your building is not stable, you want to put something here. Can you imagine that, right? That is what you people do. First, strengthen the foundation. So CSAT practice every day, half an hour, 1 hour, depending on where you stand. Believe me, whatever I am telling, everyone has time to do all these things, right? It is just like misplaced priorities here and there. CSAT half an hour to 1 hour, pick up questions first, solve last. Now we have, I think, 13 years of CSAT question papers, 11 to 24, 14 years, right? So how many questions? So many questions, right? Average 40 quant questions, right? 40 comprehension. So first finish those questions. Finish means understand the trends within the quant part, right? What are the types of questions that are frequently asked? Master them, right? Is it averages or time related, right? Under reasoning, what are the types of questions that they are asking? So first become familiar with the nature of the topic and then master them through practice. So in CSAT, as far as I understand, speed is the key. It is not that out of 80 questions you don't know answer to any questions. Any graduate in any stream can solve at least 30 to 35 questions in the CSAT paper. That is how it is designed, the CSAT paper, right? Only if you can remain calm, if you know that which problem to leave out, which question to select, so you can actually attempt 30 to 35 questions correctly and confidently walk out. It is just that we have built fear around the paper because of lack of practice, lack of understanding of the nature of the paper, right? Lack of exposure. We haven't solved enough tests to know which problem to select, which problem to leave out. And speed of comprehension and ability to comprehend, interpret and put in your own words. So that is also another problem because people shy away from reading the editorials, the actual editorials from the newspapers, right? So to do really well in CSAT, confidently score 100 plus in any level of difficulty of CSAT paper, reading daily editorials, right? Understanding them in your own words. What do they ask? What is the central message in the passage? What is your inference? What does author seek to convey? Something like this. Everyday editorial is a live passage that is there in front of you. 3 to 4 such articles which you are using mainly from the GS perspective. So you want to extract certain facts and examples. So think from the CSAT perspective. CSAT perspective in the sense not exam perspective. So try to understand in your own words what the author is trying to convey. So all the reasoning they are giving, right? So which idea is more prioritized compared to other ideas within the article, right? What is the core idea and what are the other related ideas that he is trying to put in the article. So this understanding not only CSAT, in essay also this will help. So what we do is that we go for YouTube videos, we go for the shorter version of editorials which somebody have actually prepared for us, right? You are not helping your own ability to grow, strengthen. You are becoming dependent, the dependency increases. So please read everyday editorials from at least 2 papers, make notes out of it. Notes means the central idea. What are the arguments, mainly from the essay perspective and mains perspective, not noting down the points. And then daily at least 5 to 10 problems, right? So 1 hour or half an hour for CSAT, 1 hour, 1.5 hour for newspaper, and daily previous year question papers aligned with the any mains test series timetable, right? And every Sunday one full length prelims mock test. I won't say every Sunday start giving CSAT from now itself. At least do daily practice. After 3-4 months, you can start giving the full length CSAT paper. So 20 to 30 full length CSAT papers, at least 50 to 60 full length GS papers, and at least 30 to 40 full length mains GS papers by February or March. So combined together, right, this will prepare you for entire examination. I mean prelims come mains, I won't say interview, before the next year prelims, right? And essay, there should be a special focus, right? And we have incentivized on our website, whoever puts good essay, we are giving 1,000 rupees. We want to incentivize secure also. So those who write daily regular answers, we want to incentivize. I think we will announce within 1 or 2 days, right? So what happened last 2 to 3 years when prelims became extremely difficult, so people stopped this writing practice or reduced the intensity of writing practice. Am I right? That is my observation. Earlier, so many people used to bring answers and this is. So once prelims became difficult, it became an excuse for many people to not to write answers, stop writing answers. So I think you have to start it again, not because prelims is getting easy. It was always relevant. It will be always relevant. Ultimately, your target should be scoring 900 plus marks in the mains examination. Target, that is the ideal target. You know that 899 is the highest marks. So 900 is the highest marks in the mains. That is the first rank marks. So that should be your target. 899, 900 is the target. So to score 900, ultimately writing skill. So what does good writing skill include, right? In addition to good presentation, good structuring, what I am seeing now, not just nowadays, like past few years who are scoring 850 plus, the quality of content is really good. Quality of content and their ability to present that quality content in a more visible way, right? When I am evaluating, it is a cakewalk for evaluator, right? All parts of the questions are so meaningfully addressed, right? With proper argument, with proper justification, it is visible. So if somebody is just like beating around the bush, only writing the concept part without justification, or dumping only examples without the argument part, analysis part, so you won't get good marks. There should be a balance. So that ability, how will you learn? Only through practice, right? And only through getting the feedback. Blindly practicing somewhere doesn't help you. You may be writing, thinking that I know the content, I know the answer, I'm repeatedly writing, but feedback helps you improve in all aspects, because we keep seeing so many copies, right? So we will compare. So your copy is far better than others, are not so good compared to others, right? And I'm going to be available, and our team is going to be available for all the guidance and feedback throughout the year, right? So please come and show your essays, come and show your answers. So if you join the IPM or YLM test, you can bring your evaluated copies of YLM or IPM copies show. So I keep going back to the memory, like the toppers, so many of them, even though some of them are doing. The morning itself I met one or two guys. One guy I promised you are going to be in top 10. I won't reveal his name now itself. Right, after mains we will reveal. Right, so this year from the classroom program, OGP program, we will have someone in maybe top 5 or top 10. Right, so there are why I am confident in telling that. Our mentors have seen them multiple times. We will see them in multiple times. They coming, getting the feedback. So it goes back to the first argument that I made. School, college, how they don't prepare us for taking guidance from others. So this examination in itself, going with the syllabus or the question paper, is not the most difficult examination, right? Going by that perspective, it is not the most difficult exam. It is most difficult because it tests you, individual, your personality, right? So we are oblivious. What is the meaning of oblivious? Not knowledgeable. Oblivious means we are ignorant, right? We are ignorant about these small things. We take it for granted. We somewhere feel subconsciously this is the continuation of our graduation days. The same habits continue, the same way we start preparing. No, that is not how this examination actually works. Lots of self-discipline and consistency. Everything I have told you, right, it is less than 3% who actually do these things. This is the truth, right? This is the truth. So if you are among those 3 or 4% people, I am using the 3%, I have seen this, right? If you are among those 3% of the people, so you can crack this examination in 1 or 2 attempts. This is the truth, right? And to become like that, whether it is me or you, it is really difficult. Only somebody who is on a, who has that strongest desire from within, to withstand all the obstacles, to overcome all the odds, to resist all the criticism, right? To be ignorant to all the doubts and humiliations, whatever that you come across, to insulate yourself from all the noises. Total focus on this process, seeking only learning and improvement, right? Focus only on learning and improvement in a consistent way. So you will get through this examination. Even if you commit certain mistakes and don't clear this examination, you will be successful in your life. In some way or other way, you will be successful, right? So by next year mains, at least 40 essays must be your target, right? 30 to 40 essays. I mean, aim high, 900, 140 plus, right? It is doable. It takes 3 to 4 hours for you to read some material and sit and write one essay in a week. That is part of the examination, right? And minimum 10,000 MCQs before January or February. 10,000 MCQs, right? So 6,000 from the tests, remaining 4,000 daily current affair quiz, this and that, right? And at least 600 answers, right? Minimum 600 answers voluntarily written every day. GS answers, mainly from Secure Initiative or maybe from previous year question papers. Last 10-year mains question papers, that also you need to analyze. Similarly, the way you will do for prelims 29 years. At least 600 answers of your own answers voluntarily written, not forced by anyone. One answer or two answers every day for next 5 to 6 months. If you write 2 answers every day, within 3 months you can complete. I am saying sometimes you will be in a zone, sometimes you will not be in a zone. It's okay, 1, 2, sometimes 0, some 600 answers by February or March. You don't know the amount of confidence it gives actually. right? After prelims, you feel like pro, like, I've done these things. Similarly, compulsorily write answers to last 10 years ethics question papers. With or without coaching, last 10 years ethics, each and every question, each and every case study, prepare your own original answers. From whatever materials you have, from whatever research you can do, prepare your own answers for all the last 10 years. I'm not asking the same for GS 1, 2, 3, but ethics compulsory and must, right? Case studies, so if you attend last 60 case studies, last 10 years, I think now you have 11 years of ethics papers, right? It's kind of a leaked question paper. Similar case studies will appear when you write mains examination, right? So you have to get them evaluated. Is your answer really good? Is your answer really more holistic, more innovative, right? Does it have all the constituents like theoretical part, application part, novel examples, right? Out of the box, innovative course of action. If it is case study, linking with moral philosophy, linking with, the syllabus theories in section A of the answer. So that evaluation is important. So this, in addition to test series, you have to do this 10-year. You can, devise your own timetable for the ethics. So if you write even one answer every day, ethics, the past 10 years. So I think how many, like 200 questions, case studies, 6 case studies plus 13 questions, like 20 questions, 20 questions, 200 questions, every day one, 200 days, next 6 months, right? By January, you will be done with that, right? You might have read that book, Atomic Habits. Some of you might have read. What does it say? Small what? Incremental, right? The progress, the real progress you will actually feel and achieve only when you seek incremental improvements rather than doing something at a time. For example, some of you might have thought like, next 2 months I will do only optional, right? Or next 3 months I will only prepare for mains, right? So what I am trying to say, before Atomic Habits book was authored, I have been telling the same thing. Every day divide in your day such a way that you don't feel stressed about it. To write one ethics answer, it might take 2 hours in the beginning, right? Might get gradually decreased to 1 hour, half an hour in the eventually, right? Reading and then writing it in 7 or 11 minutes, right? So one answer for next 200 days, you are done with the ethics preparation, at least 60-70% of the ethics preparation. That is before prelims, right? Will you do? No, I am not hearing any yes sir. You will say yes because I am asking it, right? But are you really saying this yes from the bottom of your heart, or from the depth of your, right? So I am somebody who has attempted biggest examination in my life, right? So I am standing in front of you. So I have given these examinations, many examinations, have cracked some of them, have failed in some of them, right? So life as we portray is really not difficult, right? It's all about deeper passion and our consistent commitment to it, right? In 1 or 2 attempts, you will reach where you want to reach, but that consistent commitment, that is what differentiates you from all the other people, the bigger crowd. That is the only ingredient that is mostly missing in most of the candidates. So that part you have to do. Don't complicate preparation. There are so many courses, so many institutions, so many websites. You don't have to look at everything, right? Every resource. You know what to do. You already possess those resources. Go on perfecting them in an incremental way, right? And with respect to interview part, right? If your English is weak, overcome it as soon as possible. It is not possible to do it after means, right? I feel so sad for people who have so much of knowledge but cannot express that knowledge when a question is asked to them. I know so many of them. They have knowledge. I know them because if they have cleared mains, they already have the knowledge. But their inability to express stems mainly because lack of communication skills, and also they haven't practiced it. They're not used to it. Even if their English is good, it is not easy to condense your ideas, right? Put them succinctly or in a very concise manner in front of your audience. It is not easy. We don't think about it. We don't practice, right? So if you can form a group of 2 to 3 individuals once or twice in a week, if you can just discuss certain issues, right? In your room, in your classroom, that also let it be part of your preparation, right? And with respect to interview, develop at least 2 to 3 different hobbies or interests. So after mains result, people will come like, what should I put in the hobby section? So then I will ask them to make a list of all the hobbies they have. Some people will have, some people will not have. But some people will have certain interests, like interest in artificial intelligence. That is not there in the syllabus, but because it is in the news, or because suddenly you have developed interest in the artificial intelligence, right? Because the world is talking about, the experts are talking about them. You might be reading more about artificial intelligence, not for the examination, but for the liking for the subject, right? So identify such 2 to 3 different topics and develop stronger interest in them. You can just put them in the hobby section, and the interview can happen revolve around only those 3 topics. Anything, any topics, interesting topics that can engage the interview panel, right? See, 275 marks, 215 is the highest marks in the interview. Last 250, so far 215 is the highest marks given. Last year 2 candidates have got 215 marks. One guy in his first attempt, one guy in his 7th attempt. Some people have like, mine is 5th attempt, 6th attempt, they won't give interview marks. 7th attempt guy has got 215 in the interview. Your attempts, your lack of employment, your not so good education, good college, they don't matter actually. The person sitting in front of the panel, the personality, his thoughts, his ideas, his mannerisms, behavior, communication skills, they actually matter, not what is written in the tab, right? So, but to give them lead, to start engaging them, at least they should be 2 to 3 starting points, right? So usually such kind of panel would like to engage with or would like to discuss about interesting topics. If it is something related to literature, like reading certain genre of literature, fiction or non-fiction, they will be interested in that. So within non-fiction, if you have written something about some discipline, as I said, artificial intelligence, or like security issues, for example, like geopolitics, or within that very specifically about Middle East, or something related to, any issue from any part of the world, or if you are interested with, architecture or archaeology, reading about certain cultures, right? So you can identify 3 distinct, something related to humanity, something related to science, something related to philosophy or spirituality, so that they can ask multiple questions and you can ask, so you can engage them. You can maintain the interest. You can, you can come across as person of diverse interest, depth, who can be engaged for more than 20 to 30 minutes without getting bored. The 30 minutes should fly, like, You shouldn't feel like you were there for 30 minutes. That is how it should be more engaging. So what you are preparing for prelims and mains in knowledge wise would have prepared you for that. But we haven't used it from the interview perspective. We haven't thought from the interview perspective. So suddenly after mains, if you start doing it, it takes lots of effort for which again you are actually not ready, willing to go to people, discuss with them, give mock interview. Some people don't come and give mock interview. They're still introvert, shy, right? So I usually take multiple mock interviews. This year also I'm going to do that after mains. So I will sit, and those who do well in the mains, even before the result, I call them, those who are confident, right? So I take my chances. So I feel that everyone is going to either clear, even if they don't clear, next attempt they are going to clear. So I keep doing mock interviews. So most of the people don't come, maybe because of the fear, maybe because they are not confident, or maybe not maybe one of the reasons is that they still think that they have to read current affairs, they have to read NCERTs once again, they have to read optional once again, then only come for the interview. The whole school mindset, college mindset, they carry it forward for the interview also. It is not like that. See, this thing I am telling you far ahead of your next interview, because this is really important. If not 215, at least you can score 190 plus, right? 190 plus 800 in mains is IAS. You can check, right? And 800, 820, 180 or 190, sure shot IAS, right? I am talking from the general merit perspective. So all of you know what to do, and I have very briefly told you what to do. So it has the personality angle, majority of it, and the rest. We also going to conduct an entrance examination for the core batch. Those who have already done their mains preparation previously have completed their optional. Regarding optional, successful people who get rank, what I have seen that for minimum 10 years, they prepare model answers and keep ready. That is another assignment for you. As I stressed on the ethics, for optional, whichever your optional, it can be maths, zoology, botany, public administration, sociology, PSIR, geography, anthropology, right? Psychology, philosophy. 10 years question paper minimum. Some people do it for 20 years. 10-year papers, your own researched, well framed model answers, not copied from the popular source, right? Or not copied from the model answer question banks. Some people, some optional may be having them, right, in the market. Your own answers, sourced from the standard textbooks, good examples, show it to your mentor or teacher and keep them ready. So keeping ethics, writing around 40 essays, keeping 10 years model answers for all the your respective optional subjects, starting CSAT practice early, paper 1 practice early, being good with 29 years of prelims question papers, plus reading NCERTs once again, plus analysis of last 10 years GS 1 to 3 mains papers, right? And aligning everything with any one particular timetable. Your own timetable doesn't work to Bill Gates, or doesn't work to you, it doesn't work to anyone. Even Bill Gates has a mentor, Barack Obama also has a mentor, the biggest CEOs, they have mentors, right? You need to be accountable to someone. So join any test series, or as I told you, just download the timetable. Maybe you can follow the timetable. My personal recommendation is our own IPM program. I leave it to your judgment. I'm not a marketing person where it will come by. It is the most beautiful program, right? It is up to you. And the core batch, provided you are done with the optional, provided you already have mains notes, right? Core batch, this year we are going to take only 50 students, not more than 50 students. It is going to be paid program, and I am going to be the main personal mentor for the core batch, both in Delhi D core batch and also Bangalore core batch. and I'm going to be, so this year like I made it my mission, like 100 ranks from Karnataka. That is my lofty goal, I think we can reach 40, 45 incremental way. Another next 5 years, we want 100 ranks. We had announced it last year. So I want to be at the thick of things. So next 3 years, I am going to be very much involved in the entire process. So core batch, I am going to personally guide Sudeep sir, Manjunath sir, Ashish sir, Pradeep sir, and also other faculties will also be the personal mentor for the core batch students. So the core batch is going to be a bit intense, more regular answer writing, more tests. So provided you have notes ready, so then only join. After mains, we will have another super core batch like every year, right? At least by, if not this core batch, by next October, by coming October, complete everything, notes making and GS 1, 2, 3, 4. You can aim for the super core batch. But just because it looks more intense, more appealing, you don't have to join it. So go by your own strengths and weaknesses, right? Understand your own personality, accordingly you go. And also don't be in a hurry to crack this examination, in the sense that we all start from different levels. Some start from some advantageous position, some start from disadvantageous position. For you, it may be taking longer time. Don't be depressed about it, right? Understand, like wouldn't have touched newspaper in your entire life. Suddenly, after coaching, after joining coaching, after starting preparation, you might be doing it. So it may be taking longer time for you to understand certain issues, remember them. So it is perfectly fine. No, if somebody is going to give first attempt next year, I'm talking about. So if you're already in this process, whatever things I told you, you can divide entire day into 12 hours routine, right? In 12 hours, the major chunk, like 5 hours for the test series, whichever test series you join, reading and making notes for it, right? 2 hours for current affairs and answering 1 or 2 questions from it, right? 3 hours for optional every day. So now it is 10 hours, right? Remaining 2 hours for CSAT and little extra reading and analysis of 29 years of previous question paper, like daily 10, 15 questions in those 2 hours. In 2 hours, you do 100 questions, right, in examination. In 2 hours, you can do 10 questions and then their analysis also. So like this, if you divide your day, you are not going to leave out optional also, CSAT also, the main subject which is part of the test series, and also your current affairs. 12 hours, promise yourself, commit yourself that next 365 days, right? You are going to study minimum 12 hours every day. You can skip your Sundays, breaks, it's fine, commit. Now and then little break when you are exhausted, it's fine. But if at all you have already paid for 1 or 2 years, you have taken breaks already here and there, right? So this next 365 days, commit. Total commitment. As I said, consistent commitment. That for 365 days, if you do, you will really walk out with a rank. And now don't get distracted with KPSC exam, right? And other examinations. Keep preparing for the UPSC, and 1 or 2 hours, if at all you are really serious about KPSC examination, read Karnataka history, geography, and economic survey. I think giving only 1 hour every day is sufficient. There is not so much Karnataka geography, Karnataka history, right? If you have already read Indian history, Indian geography, Karnataka history, geography won't take much time, right? Similarly, it's economic survey. To learn about all the schemes, it's a matter of 5-6 hours, I think. So don't deviate. Don't see, unknowingly they become excuses. We don't see them consciously as excuses, but they become excuses to deviate from the hard work required to crack the UPSC exam. So keep your major focus on the UPSC, and whenever other exams come, write them, apply for them, write them. I'm not asking you to not to write them, definitely write them, but don't focus on them, right? So wish you all the best. If you have any doubts, you can ask. or you will wind up. No doubts. So what he's asking is, when I want to study for 12 hours, there will be some distractions within mind. Even though you are sitting in the classroom, even though you are sitting in the library or you, in your own room or in a park, wherever you are reading, I think there will be some noise inside your head, some kind of distraction. See, how to come out of that? For example, as I said in your university and college days, so there was a goal, right? And there was a fear. Fear was actually pushing you. Fear of paying the fine, fear of missing out opportunity to write the examination. So you would always come back, right? That the mind will, when it was trying to deviate, wander here and there, it would come back because you would come back and focus because there was kind of fear or or incentive also, right? So that indiscipline wouldn't be there much unless you were like so careless about it. So you will have such careless friends in every batch, right? Few people, so they don't worry about failing is okay for them, right? So during my own this election journey, I used to, like, I worked really 16 hours a day. I worked minimum 16 hours a day. That is how in 9 months I was able to make a really big impact in 8 constituencies. Around 17 lakh people, almost everyone knows my name, not because of the marketing, because I really interacted. I had the target of interacting with at least 6 lakh people, right? I had the target of directly interacting with 6 lakh people. So I did Padayatra every day, 10 to 12 villages, addressing, 12 to 14 gatherings, right? So I used to face the same problem. Why am I doing this, right? Sometimes I used to feel like, giving up, quitting and all, but the larger purpose. So I didn't want to, I went there, because I felt I can do bigger service to the society. And I used to see the injustice in front of my eyes, the education system, the poverty, this and that. I felt if people like me go to parliament, we can do a difference, right? So that would constantly motivate. So I think you should have a bigger goal, bigger purpose in front of you. See, it can be elevating your family status also. Nothing wrong in that. Some of you come from poor background. Some of your parents might have experienced humiliation, right? To escape from poverty also. Plus the larger goal of serving the society. So the moment you feel like getting distracted, walking out, you should, something should bring you back and make you do it. It should be a strong reason, right? So that comes with practice. I used to feel I have to do this. I have to meet as many people as possible. So no, I didn't come. 6 months I didn't come here. Before sleeping, WhatsApp half an hour. Guide everyone. Tell things to do this and that, and then go for sleep. Half an hour to 1 hour. Right. Remaining time, I knew that if at all I have to make impact, no balancing act. Right. So now 4 years there are no elections, right? So they don't need me also. They have elected someone, and they have power, and people will enjoy all the social service now by the elected representatives. They will visit all the villages. They will visit all the schools and hospitals. Right? So people have overwhelmingly voted them. No? I can't do as a private individual. I have to sell this institution, go there, and I don't have any other source of income, right? I don't have any other businesses. So all the politicians have these, other sources of income. So they keep spending. So if at all I have to go, I have to do social service, which I am doing, right? So in a way that I am facilitating education, I am facilitating employment using my network. So the things I can do, I am doing. Otherwise, it's a very costly affair, politics. Constantly staying there. Anybody who is accessible, the rich guy, everyone will come to you. If at all you are giving, it's because of the poverty. I don't blame the people, right? They don't have resources. Even a small village, even a good village doesn't have enough capacity or ability to generate its own resources. People are poor. That is why they keep coming. So when people are not available, they get adjusted to the poverty and hunger. They somehow manage with it. So the situation is pathetic. So we don't see that because very earlier people used to complain. The complaint doesn't work now. Nobody listens. There are no avenues, channels for people to go and talk about them. That is why things actually look good everywhere. It is not good. Things are bad in your surrounding, within the city, villages. It is just that our governance and our so-called beautiful democracy has evolved in such a way that it has distanced itself from the people. It is merely electoral democracy, what we have. The role of people only evident during the election, that too not voluntarily, right? They are lured, big rallies, spend money overnight by all the leaders, marketing, huge marketing, right? Nowadays, leaders become leaders because of marketing, image overall, spend hundreds of crores on them, right? So then they become leaders. So that is how the things are working. So the only hope is you people, you officers. When you become officers, the only hope. So that is why I have come back here, right? No, I really mean it actually. Somewhere IAS, IPS, still the UPSC is still, selecting good candidates based on a proper process, clean process. I would say there is no corruption, right? There may be little bias here and there, but there is no corruption at least. So officers, most of them maintain integrity, right? Most of them maintain integrity. They stay behind the curtain and do their job. So I think in every speech I was telling, I want to create better leaders, political leaders, and I want to create better bureaucrats. These two, if there is a healthy collaboration between these two, the real development is possible. Leaders with empathy, leaders with, what do you call, service mindset, especially focused on social service. So the collaboration between leaders and officers, good officers, will actually result in equitable development. So that is my concept. So here is an opportunity to create leaders. So I come back. It's not like, I'm away from politics. It is part of the bigger vision. So that is what I'm doing. So that is why I said mission 100. More officers, more development, I believe, right? So wish you all the best. It is all under our control, whether to get distracted or not get distracted, right? So that willpower should be strong. So you can never develop willpower by reading self-help books. Useless. Don't read them. You can develop only by going through experiences in life, right? And looking at the life from a bigger perspective, not from a very narrow perspective, and also looking at the life from a very selfish perspective also is not good, right? that won't bring the discipline. If it is very selfish, the discipline is short-lived, right? If it is utilitarian, so then the discipline will be slightly longer. It sustains, right? So all the best. Thank you.